So let's just talk about how you've been able to lose 85 pounds and how you've been able to maintain that, keep it off, and then like the discipline or whatever you want to go into on how you've been able to lose the 85 pounds.
I mean, it all has to start with the change. I mean, something in your body has to spark to where you want to accept change. And once you accept that change, you have to fully accept it. Like, there's no, I think I kind of want to do this, or, most people, I think why most people fail when they set out on a diet, they set out on a workout plan, is they're not disciplined. Like, if you're disciplined, and to become disciplined, you have to change your mindset. Like, you have to do things you don't want to do every single day. You know what I mean? Like, for you, example, you know what I mean? There's times you wake up 4:30, 3 o'clock in the morning to go run. And I mean, there's times mornings you wake up, you don't want to do it. But you do it anyways because you're disciplined. And with being disciplined comes consistency. With consistency, then you see the true results. But I mean, if you're just starting out and you think you're motivated, and when I say you think you're motivated, like you say, oh yeah, I want change, and you only half-ass it, you know what I mean, that motivation is going to go away within 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I think that's where most people fail in their diets or their workouts is they start out strong, you go hard for 3 weeks, and then that motivation leaves. And then that's where your discipline kicks in. And you know what, I don't feel like going to the gym today, but you're going to go anyways.
Yeah.
You're going to go get that workout. And the days, I don't know, like myself, in my own mind, days that I don't want to do something, I force myself even harder to work out. Like if I don't want to be there, I'm going to add something in my workout. Like if I didn't want to work out that day and I didn't have a core workout, I'm going to add a core workout for the simple fact that I didn't want to be there. And with that kind of discipline and that kind of mindset, you're going to see true results.
Yeah.
You have to make yourself feel uncomfortable. Like the things you don't want to do because they're either hard or they challenge you, those are the things that are going to make you stronger. Those are the things that are going to make you more disciplined. Those are the things that are going to make you see results. Yeah. Like if you go working out, and a lot of people, like when they first start working out, you're going to feel sore. But a lot of people don't like feeling sore. So I mean, if you're not fully engaging in that workout and you're not truly testing yourself, you're never going to see results that you want. You might get a little result, but you're never going to see the full outcome of what it could be.
Yeah, 100%. So like in the past, whenever you've tried to lose weight or you try to commit to a working out, what was your mindset then? And why do you think you failed versus like this time around? Because you kind of spoke on it, like, you know, the motivation leaving and you now showing that you're disciplined. But I'm sure people are in that spot where they've gone for a couple weeks and failed. Like, what would you say is the reason why you failed in the past? And maybe it'll relate to some of the people that are trying to stay, you know, committed but are failing.
The mindset, like I have tried working out in the past, like you said, and when I was doing it back then, I wasn't fully committed. I wasn't disciplined. You know what I mean? You start out, like I said, you start out motivated, you start out strong, but eventually in everybody that motivation is gonna leave. And you know what I mean, that's when you truly have to buckle down and you truly have to reevaluate and say, what do I want? You know what I mean? Like for me, it was after that motivation left, you know, 2-3 weeks into it. I mean, and it comes in spurts. You know what I mean? You're not gonna fully lose your motivation the whole time, but there's times, everybody's human. You're gonna have a bad week. You're gonna have a bad day. But it's times when you have that bad day, you need to buckle down. You need to say, you know what? I'm not gonna be a little bitch. Yeah. I'm gonna fucking take my ass out there. I'm gonna go fucking work out. You know what I mean? There's times I've got stuck, forced over at work, 16-hour day, long days, and I don't have a chance to get that workout in the morning. But there I am, 10 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? Getting a workout in. It may only be a 40-minute workout, but I'm gonna push myself as hard as I can for that 40 minutes. Yeah, that's part of being disciplined. That's the different mindset I have. Before, when I tried this, I would say, you know what, I had a hard day. I'm gonna push this off. Yeah. Or you know what? I don't feel like, I know I'm gonna have a long day at work tomorrow. I'm not gonna do this because I'm gonna feel sore. You need to challenge yourself. If you're not challenging yourself every single day when you're working out, then I mean, you might as well just give up. Like I said, if you want to see real results and you want to be the best that you can be, you have to challenge yourself. You have to make yourself feel uncomfortable. You got to do all the different shit that you don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I first started out, I mean, shit, I was right there at that 300-pound line. I knew I didn't want to be there. And one of the things I struggled in, you know, I mean, shit, I didn't like doing push-ups. It sucked at me. So, you know, one thing I made it was, all right, I don't like doing push-ups. I'm gonna do them every single day. That's how I'm gonna start my morning out. I'm making myself feel uncomfortable. I'm gonna do, you know, start out with as many burpees as I can do, and each day I'm gonna grow. Each week I'm gonna add 2 to 3 onto it. And I mean, shit, now we rep them out.
Yeah, heck yeah.
You know, but it's that part that you need to challenge yourself. It's that uncomfortable spot that you need to put yourself in so you can start seeing those results.
Yeah.
And with time and with consistency, that's when they come. That's what I mean being disciplined. Like, it's the stuff that you don't want to do that's gonna better you, and you know it's going to, and you just don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the shit you need to get over. And once you get over that, then it's limitless on what you can do.
Yeah. And mindset is huge on that.
And what really helped me change my mindset goes back to fasting.
Ooh.
Because fasting is a whole nother animal challenge on its own.
Yeah.
Like, for people that's never tried fasting, or people say I can't do fasting, you can. You just don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people that say, oh, I can't go 20 hours without eating. You can. It's just you're being a bitch about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a harsh reality. You just don't want it bad enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's one of those things, you know, when you're pushing yourself and you think you're starving, but you're really not. You know, that's the different mindset. You know, like, I was one of those guys, I never thought I could fast. I never thought I would go, my longest fast is still 86-hour fast.
Mm.
But before I started this journey, even when I tried working out before, like, I never thought I would go over 24 hours without eating.
Yeah.
You know, but that was a long time.
Yeah.
I did have that mindset. But once again, I mean, you have to challenge yourself. You have to push yourself. You know what I mean? I wasn't comfortable when I was 86 hours into that fast. You know what I mean? I was over it, but I kept pushing. You know, and it comes with time. Like, when we first started, there was no way that I would have jumped into a straight 86-hour fast.
Yeah.
You work at it. Yeah. You know, and week by week, you know, I started at 18-hour fast, then I moved to 24-hour fast, and then I tried a 48, and then the 48 pushed into a 72, and then that 72 pushed into the 86. Like, it's just, like I said, you have to challenge yourself. If you want to be the best you can be, you have to challenge yourself. And that's what it comes down to.
But you challenging yourself, like, changed beliefs, because like you said, you know, you never thought you would go 24 hours without eating. But yet, since you decided to push yourself and challenge yourself, it changed that false belief that you had that you couldn't go that long. So the beliefs are the most important part, and your mindset, because if you believe you can't do something and it's a lie, then you're going to stay the same. Like, if I believe I can't work out every single day of the week because I'm not disciplined or not consistent, but I decide I'm going to challenge myself and I do work out 7 days a week, then my beliefs are now changed. I now believe in myself that I can do that. Whereas a lot of people walk around with these false beliefs and these lies that they tell themselves, like, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this. And that's really what's holding them back, like that mindset and those beliefs. So as soon as you challenge yourself, like you're saying, you start to see, like, I actually can do that stuff, and my beliefs are changing. So then you can go even further. You're like, what else can I do? What else can I challenge myself? What other lies am I telling myself that I can overcome? And I think that's why, like, for myself, but also, like, seeing your results, you've been able to go so far, is because you continue to challenge yourself and you continue to rewrite old beliefs that you've had that you couldn't do stuff, but now you know you can.
100%. I mean, like, when we first started out this journey, you know what I mean? Like, I was right there close to 300 pounds. And when I first started out, when I first thought about hitting you up, I was like, all right, I think I want to lose at least 40 pounds. And then I started thinking about it. And when we talked about it, I said, all right, you asked me how much weight do you want to lose. And I told you, you know what, I'm going to shoot for 80 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started working at it, and I started seeing results, started seeing real good results. But because I was disciplined and I was dedicated. And, you know, after we started seeing good results, we started talking about, you know, more weight loss. And so I said, you know, I'm even going to challenge myself even further. We're going to push it to the 100-pound mark. I mean, I'm right there. I'm 15 pounds away from it.
Yeah.
You know, it's there. It's the home stretch right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like we talked about right now, with me finally losing all that weight, it's getting harder, but that's where the discipline kicks in. That's where the consistency kicks in. You know what I mean? There's times where, you know, I get on that scale and I'm the same weight as I was yesterday. You know what I mean? But there's that fire inside of me that kicks in and says, you know what, we're gonna keep pushing forward. You're gonna keep going. You know what I mean? There's different challenges within that day. You know what I mean? There's different challenges within that week, and you know, we kind of talked about this last little stretch on what I got to buckle down on. You know what I mean? But it's gonna be tougher, but it's gonna be up for a challenge.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it. You know, that 100-pound.
And the nice thing is like let's just use 20 pounds as like an example. So like each 20 pounds that you've lost starting from like the beginning, it was easier to lose that 20 pounds in the beginning because you had more weight to lose. But compared to where your discipline and your consistency was at, it was still equally as hard as the next 20 and the next 20. So like what I'm saying is like you're at a point right now where you're so disciplined and you're so consistent that even though it is harder because you have less weight to lose, it's the same or equivalent difficulty than it was in the past because you're that much more disciplined, you're that much more committed. So like the longer you stay in it, the more you build character, and even no matter how hard it is to lose that last 15, 20 pounds, you're gonna do it because that's who you are now. You know, whereas before you're just barely learning how to be disciplined, how to be consistent, what commitment really means. And so even though you have more weight to lose, it was still challenging, and you continue to grow through this whole way. So your character is so strong now that even though it's going to be hard to lose this last 15 pounds, there's no doubt that you're gonna do it.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm gonna hit that 100-pound mark. Because like you said, when you first start out, you question yourself, you question your beliefs. You know what I mean? You start losing that motivation. But like we said, you know, you start doing it more, it starts becoming who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? There's no question. Every day I wake up, I know I'm gonna hit my sets of burpees. I'm gonna go for a walk, or you know what I mean, I'm gonna hit that workout. There's no questions, there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what happens that day, my workouts are gonna get done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what happens.
Yeah.
They're gonna get done. And that's the kind of mindset I feel like you have to have. I mean, if you think you're gonna do something, don't think you're gonna do something, you need to do it. If you set out, you know, like on a weekend, I set out, hey, I'm gonna work out today. Well, you know, shit happens, you start thinking past the time that you need to do it, you still need to go get it done. At the end of the night, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like there's no debating. It's like, it's like, for sure, it's certain. And I think that's the difference between when you would fail or succeed. I'm speaking in general, not you specifically, but like, I remember me, before I was able to commit to fasting and to working out, I would start for a couple weeks and then I would start debating with myself, and I'd be like, well, if I work out today, then, or if I miss today's workout, I'll just make up for it tomorrow. Like, it's not a big deal if I miss. And the same with the fasting, I would just like talk myself out of it, and I would be like, well, I fasted the other day, I don't need to fast today. Like, I can eat and I'll fast tomorrow. Like, I would argue and try to like,
you'd contradict yourself.
Yeah, and I would try to like talk myself out of it because I didn't want to be uncomfortable. That was the whole point. It was like, I didn't want to be uncomfortable. And now, like, I know I can just say no. Like, and there's so much power in that. I can just be like, you know, if I'm gonna eat today, I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna eat today. And I don't have to go back and forth with myself. Like, I'm so confident and sure that I can fast because I've done it for so long and so many times that I can just say no. And then the same with the workout. Like, you're gonna miss a workout? Like, no. Like, I get motivated now when I don't feel like doing those things, because it's like, now is a challenge. Now I see it's a competition, and so that motivates me. It's kind of like a way to trick myself out of being unmotivated. You know, like when you don't feel like doing something, or you don't feel like fasting, or you don't feel like coming to the gym, that's where I find my motivation, because like, now this is my time to prove myself. This is the time to show that I'm committed. So then that motivates me. It's funny, like it's just like a mindset trick, but I'm pretty sure that's the same for you. Like, you found motivation in the times where you don't feel like it, because you just said that you add extra stuff on top of it to like almost add punishment to not feeling like it, you know, or trying to get out of it in a way.
Yeah, that's 100%. That's what it is. I mean, it comes down to that whole mental mind game that you have to play with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's gonna come. It comes with time. It comes with dedication and hard work and consistency. Like, it's gonna come. And once you stay committed, you know, I mean, you're gonna see those results, and you know, your whole mental mind changes. But I think another thing too is like, it also involves with people you surround yourself with.
Ooh, that's a huge one. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you're just starting out and you're having, you know, a hard time sticking to what you're saying or a hard time staying motivated, I mean, you know you're not supposed to be doing something, you shouldn't be involving yourself with those people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Say you set out for a goal, even if it's as simple as say not drinking. Say I'm not going to drink for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? And if that's something you regularly do on a weekend, you know, or occasions, family cookouts, or you know, go hang out with your friends, catch up. If you're gonna have that temptation, don't put yourself in that situation.
Yeah.
And then over time, once you eliminate that temptation, the desire to want to drink goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Or
So then, like, you can go back to those.
right,
Like you're saying, you can be put in that situation and be strong enough to say no at that point.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
just because those desires go away and those bad temptations.
Yeah.
So
I remember like being in that same situation where I would want to drink, and then over time of just saying no, the desire to drink went away, and the people who I would drink with went away. So like I said no for so long that they stopped inviting me to go drink, and I was the one inviting too, so it wasn't just them, but I was the one inviting too, but since I wasn't inviting anymore, I would get people to ask me to go do stuff, and I would just say no. And I said no for so long that our relationship just broke away because that's all it was about. And so that's the point of like saying no too, is like eventually the desire goes away, the people that's all they're there for will go away, and you no longer have the desire, you no longer have the temptation. So just saying no long enough will get you there, you know, eventually.
it does, because with you saying no, I mean, without you realizing, each time you say no and each time you don't give into that temptation, that's building discipline.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
That's,
is.
that's building discipline, and that's building consistency.
And that's the whole thing, is like people can't say no. Like the reason why people fail is because they can't say no. They can't say no to food, they can't say no to being lazy, and they can't say no to alcohol. And it's like, or like they can't say no to being invited to something. And that's with everything in life too, though. Like if you want to save money, you gotta say no to spending money.
That's
If
it.
you want to say, like, anything that you want to accomplish in life is going to require the discipline. And when you build that discipline in the gym and in your eating, the eating is probably the hardest part, you know, like the food. And so if you can say no to food and go days, 86 hours without eating, you can say no to alcohol, you can say no to spending money, you can say no to whatever it is. I don't know what else it would apply to, but anything that you wanted it to apply to, you could definitely do it, because you now have built that strength of and that willpower and that strength of self-control. You know, you now have that. You've built that with fasting, with staying committed to the workouts. And so I think that's why I love it even more, is because it applies to other areas in your life too.
It does. I mean, it's life changing. You know what I mean? And anybody that's in it long enough, you know what I mean, you realize that you change as a person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the same person I was 9 months ago. I don't have the same beliefs. I mean, you're not fully doing, you know, a 180 change, but your values and your outlook on life tend to change.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, my outlook back then, for an example, was just go hang out with some friends on a weekend, cook out, you know, have a couple beers and hang out with family. Now it's, I'm gonna hang out with family, I'm gonna go work out,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna better my health.
We're gonna get our 5 a.m. workout in.
That's
You
it.
know, whereas like, shit, I might be up still from the night before.
You know what I mean? You know, it's, yeah, you start holding different things in different values.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's good. I mean, and I think that's another thing that people struggle on. You know what I mean? Like, one of the reasons why you're looking out, or why you want to start working out, or why you want to start fasting to lose weight, is because you're not happy with where you're at.
Yeah.
You want a change. You want something different.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want that change, you want that difference in your life, obviously your values aren't aligning.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, when you start working out, you start fasting, your routines change, your thought process changes, and then your values start to align. It's little goals, you know,
Yeah.
little goals that make. You have to set little goals so you can achieve those little goals to reach your big goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, it's not all gonna come overnight. You know, I mean, people think it's gonna just happen overnight and you're gonna stay motivated the whole time. It's not. You have to set those little goals, and I mean, there's gonna be times where it's gonna be rough,
Yeah.
but with those little goals, you can maintain and reach your big goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, say for an example, I don't know what's going on.
I was thinking about like how with your life changing and how you know, like people are so scared of losing the life that they have, and they're thinking that if they sacrifice and give up the things that they're doing now, that they're not going to receive something equivalent or much better. And when you give up and you sacrifice a lot of the party lifestyle, a lot of the overeating or overindulging in all these different things, when you give those things up, like, you receive something so much better in return. You know, you receive better health, you receive more energy, and you receive different friends too. Like, we've been friends since high school, but like, we never really hung out and did stuff outside of high school. And now that we all have this in common, me, you, Guni, Efren, and even more people coming in, like, we all have this in common. Like, we fast, we go to the gym, like, we're in personal development, and we have all that in common. So our friend group is now tighter and it's different. Whereas, like, my friends outside of this and what I was doing before were different, and we were doing different things. And I think at first I was uncomfortable with saying no to those things, and I was like not sure if what I was gonna get was going to be much better. And at first it wasn't. Like, I was alone working out, I was alone doing all this stuff and having to say no. But then, like, over time, you guys all came and started doing this stuff with me, and I think people are afraid of like losing what they have because they don't think they're gonna gain something, you know, much better by changing their lives.
I think you're right. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely. I mean, that's definitely probably one of the big changes too. Is with your program, you have a support group.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think when I used to try it by myself, it was on my own. You know what I mean? Like, you would try to do your own workouts. You would try to, you know, do it all on your own. You'd say no. All of our friends are still partying. You know, I mean, they're doing a bunch of stuff that weren't aligning with what you were trying to do. And I mean, with this new go round, you know, I mean, you do it, like you said, you do it, Efren does it, a bunch of our friends are now doing it, and different people that we never met, you know what I mean, like, for that hype, you know, I met like 4 different people that I never knew, that, you know, turned out to all be cool dudes that, you know.
10 of us total going, yeah, you're right, dude. I didn't even think about the hype to use it as an example, but yeah.
No, you definitely create new friends, and, you know, the support group that you have even with the app is tremendous, you know, I mean, it's a big help, because there's times when you're working out and you think you can't do something, or, you know, there's times where I've reached out to you and I'm like, man, you know, I think this or I think that, you know, and I ask for your opinion, and then I would get another spark inside of me would fire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and something would click in my head. It's all right, you know, you're right. I do need to buckle down, or I need to do this, or, you know what I mean, just we had that support. You know what I mean, versus you being alone on it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a big help. It's definitely a big change and a big factor.
And then, like, most of the things that you do are going to be related to the people you hang out with. Like, if most of the time that you spend are with people who do, like, you know, who go fishing, like, most likely you're going to be the one that goes fishing with them. If you're involved in, you know, working out, or you're involved in whatever it is that your friends do, most likely you're going to be doing that stuff too, you know?
Yeah.
And so if you can find, you don't even have to find a group, it just comes to you. Like, we didn't really intentionally come together, it just, like, happened. You know, it seems like it happened naturally because we were all in that same time in our life where we wanted to change, we wanted to better ourselves, and then it just happened, you know?
It all came together.
Yeah. It's not something that you really have to force. You may have to give it time, but it'll happen. You won't be alone, you know, doing this stuff. There's people out there that want change like you do, so.
Right, I mean, anywhere you go, you know what I mean, I'm sure, like, even going to the gym, you know what I mean, you find people along the way, like, you know, start talking to you or start BSing with you, and then, I mean, that might create a friendship, and then, you know what I mean, you go from there.
Yeah. You just have to invite people. Like, that's all I've ever done is just invite people. Like,